Good. It's recording now.
Okay, so at least we think we have the technology worked out. Okay, so for Caleb on Tuesday, you were doing a lesson on two-digit subtraction,
Mhm.
correct? The things I noticed about you and your teaching with him is you're always very encouraging and positive.
Mhm.
Even though he even told me he had ants in his pants, it was obvious he had ants in his pants. But you always, I like how you told him to focus, and he
Mhm.
would do that after you, and it really kept him on track. So I really thought that was impressive just from a classroom management, and also the fact that you didn't let him wanting to stand up and work interfere with the lesson. He was standing for most of it, but he was paying attention and he was doing the work. So you didn't let that bother you. And I think that's a real good skill for somebody in special ed because so many teachers want to say, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. And that's really not that's not the focus. The focus is the math. And that's what he was doing. Um, I looked at his IEP goals, which solving a variety of math problems, and you were presenting these problems in a way that he seemed to be getting. And I like the way how you started out with him and then you slowly backed off. The thing I liked even more was the improvement I saw in today's lesson on the same goal using the 10 frame. Because when you started with that 10 frame and the fact that you had it up on the board, so it was a different level, not writing, but up there, it uses a whole different set of skills, and he really seemed to respond to that. And I saw him get it today. I saw him really understand and make that connection to what he was doing when you just let a pause go and he goes, and what do you do next? You take them away. And what do you do next? You count them. So he was talking himself through it. So I think you did a phenomenal job with him. I mean, I wrote on my paper he was getting it with a big exclamation point because I really saw the light bulb. I think one thing that really helped today's lesson was that I was out of the room. I think I was a distraction because I was new. And so being virtual helped. And I got to see right on top of what you were doing. And I appreciate you letting me do that at the last minute since my schedule changed. Um, what do you think? How do you think it went?
I think it went really well. I think the lesson one, with him drawing the circles out.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that messed him up a lot. And him today's lesson when I did the 10 frame, having him like giving him the manipulatives to use in a 10 frame, it was more organized for him so he could see like if I have 12 and I take away 9, like he could visually see it as he's taking it away. And also with him, just how he like him reading back the numbers, the
Mm-hmm.
problem to me. I was really trying to focus on that because I noticed like he would get distracted a little bit with his numbers, and just having him to read it back and like him getting him like, okay, what number are we putting on a 10 frame? What number are we taking away? So asking those questions with him really, I think, really had helped on today's lesson as well.
Yeah, because I saw him today go from just kind of going through the motions and doing what you were asking him to do on the when you were writing on the table, and then today with handing you the chips or the circles that y'all were using, um, I could just see it. I could see it click with him, and he really. And even there was one time I think when he had to put 18 in the 10 frame, and I knew he didn't have enough. And I saw it in his face when he realized I don't have enough to make it to 18. So he was cutting his eyes at you to make sure you had more circles. And he just kept right on with it. He's really funny. They all had to be in the very center and they all had to be on the on the same color, but I could tell
Yes,
that she
and
wasn't
then
his personality.
and then even I don't know if you had noticed, but when he was doing the big 10 frame on my board,
Mm-hmm.
like he was trying to color code it because it has two different colors. It's supposed to be like all red for 110, and then the second for yellow for the second tens, and like he was trying to do patterns with it, and I'm like, baby, just put the tens in. I mean, put the so yes.
He's a cutie. I mean, I really saw he's really a multi-sensory kind of kid. But then he was able to carry that over and write it on the paper. So I
Mhm.
could see where he was using that multi-sensory and using those circles, but then he was writing those problems down. And I really
Mhm.
think he made that connection today. I kind of want to watch him tomorrow, but I won't be here. Just to see him go the next time and the next time.
Yeah.
Maybe in a few weeks I'll pop back in and just see what you got. Show me, show me what you can do now with those numbers.
And he really liked. I had told him that when well, he really worked for me because I had told him. I think he worked more because I told him like once he finished, he could get on the computer and get extra computer time. So he's all for extra computer time. So
Yeah, because I mean, he just those ants are getting in his way. But I mean, I actually sent a text to your principal in the middle of this and said, "I know why you love her because she's wonderful with this kid." So, and
oh,
I'm happy that you're in special ed. I think you do a wonderful job with him, and I mean, I don't have anything but good things to say. I saw you use so many different methods between the two lessons to make sure he was getting it. And I feel like if he hadn't gotten that today, if we did it again tomorrow, you'd be using a different approach.
and
Just to see
honestly,
what clicked.
I think with me, I am more harder on myself, like with the reflection, like with me, like soon as I finish that lesson with him, I'm like, okay, he did not get it this way, like we need to do something else. And so just I guess I'm like that, like I'm really like I want my kids to get it, and if it's like if they can't get it this way, like let me figure out another way, let me try another strategy,
Mhm.
see if they so
But what you're not seeing when you're thinking what they didn't do is what I saw was I watched him get it. And when he was doing really well, at that one point, so because he couldn't see me because I blocked myself out on the computer, he was like, "Are you still there?"
oh
And I
yes.
had to log back in and say,
Are
"I'm
you
watching
watching
you."
me?
Because a couple of times he'd cut his eyes, he's working, cut his eyes, and I was just laughing. But you did a really good job with him. I mean, both lessons had a variety of materials on how you presented it, and that's impressive. Not just sitting there with the same old over and over. You figure out how he's going to learn it, and you ran with that, and I think that's really important.
Okay. So if you could, one thing that I can do to, I guess, to help me grow, and what would it be?
Oh man, there can't be paperwork in it. Um, oh gosh, I'm recording, and I'm just going to sit here in a long pause. I would like to see you in a bigger group. And I know that with COVID and with our restrictions and everything, we had to be real careful. Um, I just don't know, Miss Chan. I just don't know how to grow. How to grow. Oh my gosh, you did so good. I think maybe you have to give yourself a break on your reflections and see how good you are doing. But then maybe back off a little sooner. You know, you got to let them fail so you can, and I know you
And
don't
I
want to.
think
It's a
also,
kindergarten teacher in you.
yes, and also I think that's what as well. Like it was hard for me. I was like, okay, I'm gonna let you work that problem, and then I'm like, okay, well you didn't, just giving him like if I say, okay, Miss Chun's only gonna work two problems with you, like just giving him that like, hey, it's independent. Miss Chun's
That's
not
right.
saying anything, and I
Yeah.
think with coming from a kindergarten classroom, you know.
Yeah.
I can say that just giving them a little more of giving them a little bit more to do on their own. So,
Pushing them to do it by themselves a little quicker, because they can. But no, I love watching the lesson. I just love watching you.
all righty. Well, thanks for sharing
You're
with me, and thanks
welcome.
for working with me with my elementary student. And
Well, thank you for asking me to observe. I love it.
all righty. I don't know how to stop recording. Oh,